A lack of an equipment grounding conductor from the panel board to the transformer indicates a potential high resistance ground. The non-factory screw connections to the enclosure may create a loose or intermittent connection, further increasing the resistance. High resistance grounds can allow high current flow in the neutral conductor, potentially leading to overheating and failure of surge protectors. The presence of 6 to 8 volts between neutral and ground with the furniture disconnected suggests a potential open neutral despite not finding direct evidence for it. An open neutral could create an unbalanced voltage condition where one phase has a higher voltage than the other. This voltage imbalance can cause overheating and failure of surge protectors. Firstly, test the resistance to ground. Use the AMEC 3711 clamp on ground resistance tester to measure the resistance between the equipment grounding conductor and the ground electrode at the transformer. High resistance indicates the need for an improved grounding system. Secondly, install an equipment grounding conductor from the panel to the transformer. Provide a proper equipment grounding conductor path to reduce impedance and ensure adequate grounding. Thirdly, identify and repair any open neutral condition. If the resistance to ground is within acceptable limits, further investigation is necessary to locate and repair the open neutral. Check loose connections, damaged wires, and open circuit breakers. Fourthly, consider a dedicated grounding rod for the equipment. If the grounding system is inadequate, consider installing a dedicated grounding rod for the equipment to provide a more reliable ground path. Regularly monitor the voltage between neutral and ground to ensure it remains within acceptable limits, typically less than 1 volt. In electrical systems, proper grounding is absolutely crucial for safety and the reliable operation of equipment. A high resistance ground, as indicated by the absence of a dedicated equipment grounding conductor between the panel board and the transformer, can create several problems. The equipment grounding conductor is intended to provide a low impedance path for fault current to return to the source, which in turn facilitates the quick operation of overcurrent protective devices like circuit breakers or fuses. Without this low impedance path, fault current can be limited, preventing these devices from tripping promptly and posing a significant shock hazard. Moreover, a high resistance ground can cause elevated voltage potentials on equipment enclosures, further increasing the risk of electric shock. The non-factory screw connections at the panel board contribute to the problem by introducing additional resistance and potential points of failure. These connections, if not properly tightened or maintained, can loosen over time, leading to intermittent connections and increased resistance. This added resistance further impedes the flow of fault current and exacerbates the issues associated with a high resistance ground. Surge protectors are designed to divert excess voltage away from sensitive electronic equipment by shunting the surge to ground. However, when the grounding system is compromised, the surge protector's ability to effectively dissipate the surge is significantly diminished. In a high-resistance ground scenario, the surge protector may attempt to divert the surge to a ground that is not adequately connected to the earth. This can result in the surge protector overheating, failing, and potentially causing damage to the connected equipment or even creating a fire hazard, consistent with the reported failures. The 6 to 8 volts measurement between neutral and ground with the furniture disconnected is another red flag, strongly suggesting a possible open neutral condition somewhere in the system. In a properly functioning electrical system, the neutral conductor should be at or very near ground potential. The presence of voltage between neutral and ground indicates that the neutral conductor is not effectively connected back to the source, likely due to a break or high resistance connection somewhere in the neutral path. An open neutral can lead to voltage imbalances across different circuits sharing the same neutral. This means that some circuits may experience excessively high voltages while others experience low voltages. These voltage fluctuations can be particularly damaging to sensitive electronic equipment, including surge protectors, causing them to malfunction and fail prematurely. To accurately assess the grounding system, the AMEC 3711 clamp on ground resistance tester is an invaluable tool. This instrument allows you to measure the resistance of the grounding path without having to disconnect any conductors, making it a safe and efficient way to evaluate the integrity of the grounding system. A high resistance reading, typically anything above a few ohms, would indicate a problem with the grounding system that needs to be addressed. A reading of 5 ohms or more, for example, would definitely warrant further investigation and corrective action. Installing a dedicated equipment grounding conductor from the panel board to the transformer is a critical step in improving the grounding system. This conductor provides a low impedance path for fault current and helps to ensure that overcurrent protective devices operate quickly and reliably. The equipment grounding conductor should be sized appropriately based on the size of the circuit conductors, as specified in the National Electrical Code, or NEC, Table 250.122. It should also be securely connected to both the panel board and the transformer using appropriate connectors and methods to minimize resistance. Locating and repairing any open neutral conditions is also paramount. This requires a systematic approach, starting with a careful inspection of all neutral connections, including those at the panel board, branch circuit wiring, and any intermediate connection points. Look for loose connections, corroded terminals, and damaged or broken conductors. A voltage drop test can be a useful technique for identifying high resistance connections in a neutral path. This involves measuring the voltage drop across different sections of the neutral conductor while the circuit is under load. A significant voltage drop indicates a high resistance connection that needs to be addressed. In situations where the existing grounding system is inadequate, installing a dedicated grounding rod can provide an additional level of protection. The grounding rod should be installed in accordance with NEC Section 250.52 and should be driven deep enough into the earth to ensure good contact with the surrounding soil. The grounding rod should be connected to the equipment grounding system using an appropriate grounding electroconductor sized according to NEC Table 250.66. Monitoring the voltage between neutral and ground is a valuable proactive measure that can help detect potential problems before they lead to equipment failures. A consistently low voltage reading, typically less than 1 volt, indicates a healthy grounding system. However, if the voltage between neutral and ground starts to rise, it could be a sign of a developing open neutral condition or other grounding issues that need to be investigated. Regular monitoring can be performed using a simple multimeter or, for more continuous monitoring, a dedicated ground fault monitor. In addition to these steps, it's also important to ensure that all electrical work is performed in accordance with applicable electrical codes and standards. This includes using properly rated equipment, following recommended wiring practices, and conducting thorough testing and inspection to verify the integrity of the electrical system. Regular maintenance and periodic inspections are also essential for preventing electrical problems and ensuring the continued safe and reliable operation of electrical equipment. By addressing the grounding and neutral issues, the risk of surge protective failures and other electrical problems can be significantly reduced, creating a safer and more reliable electrical environment. Remember that electrical work can be dangerous and should only be performed by qualified and experienced personnel. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is always best to consult with a licensed electrician. To further elaborate on the importance of each recommendation, let's delve into the technical aspects and potential consequences of neglecting these issues. Regarding the separate number 12 equipment grounding conductor, while it might seem adequate at first glance, the lack of a dedicated equipment grounding conductor from the panel board to the transformer is a critical deficiency. The equipment grounding conductor serves as the primary path for fault current to return to the source in the event of a ground fault. Without this dedicated path, the fault current may have to find its way back to the source through other less reliable paths such as metallic conduit, building steel, or even the neutral conductor. These alternative paths often have higher impedance than a dedicated equipment grounding conductor, which can limit the amount of fault current that flows. This reduced fault current may not be sufficient to trip the overcurrent protective device in a timely manner, leading to prolonged exposure to hazardous voltage levels and increasing the risk of electric shock or fire. The non-factory screw connections to the enclosure further compound the problem by introducing additional resistance and potential points of failure in the grounding path. These connections may loosen over time due to vibration, temperature changes, or corrosion, leading to intermittent contact and increased resistance. This increased resistance further impedes the flow of fault current and reduces the effectiveness of the grounding system. In addition to the safety concerns, a high-resistance ground can also negatively impact the performance and reliability of sensitive electronic equipment. Electronic devices are often susceptible to voltage fluctuations and noise, which can be exacerbated by a poor grounding system. A high-resistance ground can allow noise and interference to couple into the equipment, leading to malfunctions, data errors, and premature failure. The 6 to 8 volts between neutral and ground with the furniture disconnected is a clear indication of a problem with the neutral conductor. In a properly functioning electrical system, the neutral conductor should be at or very near ground potential. This is because the neutral conductor is connected to the grounding electrode at the service entrance, which effectively bonds it to the earth. When the neutral conductor is properly grounded, it provides a low impedance path for neutral current to return to the source. However, if the neutral conductor is open or has a high resistance connection, it can no longer effectively carry neutral current back to the source. This can cause the neutral voltage to rise above ground potential, resulting in the voltage between neutral and ground that you observed. An open neutral can have several serious consequences. Firstly, it can cause voltage imbalances across different circuits sharing the same neutral. This means that some circuits may experience excessively high voltages while others experience low voltages. These voltage fluctuations can be particularly damaging to sensitive electronic equipment, as they can cause components to overheat and fail prematurely. Secondly, an open neutral can create a shock hazard. If a person comes into contact with a grounded object while simultaneously touching a live conductor in a circuit with an open neutral, they may experience a severe electric shock. This is because the open neutral prevents the fault current from returning to the source and tripping the overcurrent protective device. Using the AMEC 3711 clamp-on ground resistance tester is an effective way to evaluate the integrity of the grounding system without having to disconnect any conductors. The AMEC 3711 works by injecting a test signal into the grounding system and measuring the resulting current flow. Based on the voltage and current measurements, the instrument calculates the resistance of the grounding path. A low resistance reading indicates a good grounding system, while a high resistance reading indicates a problem. When using the AMEC 3711, it's important to follow the manufacturer's instructions carefully. The instrument should be connected to the equipment grounding conductor and the grounding electrode, and the test should be performed with the circuit de-energized. It's also important to ensure that there are no other parallel grounding paths present, as these can affect the accuracy of the measurement. Installing a dedicated equipment grounding conductor from the panel board to the transformer is a relatively straightforward process, but it's important to follow proper wiring practices and electrical codes. The equipment grounding conductor should be sized appropriately based on the size of the circuit conductors, as specified in NEC Table 250.122. It should also be insulated to prevent accidental contact with other conductors or grounded objects. The equipment grounding conductor should be connected to both the panel board and the transformer using appropriate connectors and methods. At the panel board, it should be connected to the grounding busbar, which is connected to the grounding electrode conductor. At the transformer, it should be connected to the transformer's grounding electrode. Locating and repairing an open neutral can be a challenging task, as the open neutral may be located anywhere in the circuit. A systematic approach is essential for finding the open neutral quickly and efficiently. Start by visually inspecting all neutral connections, including those at the panel board, branch circuit wiring, and any intermediate connection points. Look for loose connections, corroded terminals, and damaged or broken conductors. A voltage drop test can be a useful technique for identifying high resistance connections in the neutral path. This involves measuring the voltage drop across different sections of the neutral conductor while the circuit is under load. A significant voltage drop indicates a high resistance connection that needs to be addressed. In situations where the existing grounding system is inadequate, installing a dedicated grounding rod can provide an additional level of protection. The grounding rod should be installed in accordance with NEC section 250.52 and should be driven deep enough into the earth to ensure good contact with the surrounding soil. The grounding rod should be connected to the equipment grounding system using an appropriate grounding electrode conductor, size according to NEC table 250.66. It's also important to ensure that the grounding rod is properly bonded to any nearby metallic objects such as water pipes or building steel. Monitoring the voltage between neutral and ground is a simple but effective way to detect potential problems with the grounding system. A consistently low voltage reading, typically less than 1 volt, indicates a healthy grounding system. However, if the voltage between neutral and ground starts to rise, it could be a sign of a developing open neutral condition or other grounding issues that need to be investigated. Regular monitoring can be performed using a simple multimeter or, for more continuous monitoring, a dedicated ground fault monitor. By taking these steps, you can significantly improve the safety and reliability of your electrical system and protect your equipment from damage.